Deaths, dogs, and deceit. I'm sure you have all seen the terrible news that happened yesterday. Gene Hackman, who is obviously Lex Luthor, give the man his credits. He was 95, a big don in the whole game. You know, he's in loads of films back in the day. Your dad will probably know him. I can't say I know too many. Behind Enemy Lines, I have seen that bad boy. You know, he's in loads of films. There you go. Have a gander at that. Do you know anything? Superman, and Superman. That's what I know him for. He unfortunately passed away, 95, in Santa Fe. Not trying to rhyme, in New Mexico on Wednesday with his wife. Now, this is the strange, but his wife, who is in her 60s. I've seen one person told me it was 65. I've seen another person say it was 63. So I think they can't make their mind up her age, but her age is not the relevant part of this. And one of their dogs, so one of the dogs was dead. Now, one of the neighbours did a welfare check, you know, calling the police and saying they had concerns or whatever. One of the maintenance workers who lives in his, estate or does things there, looked through the window and saw the wife lying on the floor. Now, the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office said there was no foul play originally, which is a bit, you know, that's like saying the world is flat, is it? You know what I mean? No, that is like saying grass is red. You know, obviously there is some sort of foul play here, whether it was a murder-suicide, whether someone came and killed, you know, who knows? I'm not going to get into conspiracies just yet. The search warrant, though, changed that and described it as suspicion enough to warrant a full investigation into the conditions, as Hackman was found in the mudroom near the kitchen, possibly having fallen suddenly, while his wife was discovered in a bathroom with a space heater nearby. There was a prescription bottle of medication that was lying on the floor, pills scattered across the counter. She had basically been there a lot longer than him, it would seem, though, because she had started to decompose and mummification had started to occur in her hands and her toes, hands and her feet, basically saying they'd been there for some time, potentially days or longer. One dog was dead, but two other dogs were alive in the property. A lot of people, you know, including the police, were saying maybe it was carbon monoxide poisoning. There is a lot of controversies, a lot of questions to be asked in this thing. Now, I'd just like to bring up this tweet. I'm not a fan of Charlie Kirk, but I think he sums it up quite interestingly. They are now calling the death suspicious after saying there was nothing wrong. It could be a poisoning, but they got a search warrant. He believes the death of the two deceased individuals to be suspicious enough to actually get going. The deceased dog was 10 to 15 away from Betsy in the closet of the bathroom, while a healthy dog was found roaming freely. The heater was actually moved, and I mentioned the prescription bottles a minute ago.
Harris, the Associated Press now looking at the sheriff's search warrant and saying that according to the sheriff, Hackman was found dead on Wednesday, as I mentioned. Hackman was in a mudroom. His wife, Betsy, was found dead in the bathroom next to a space heater. The AP also reporting there was an open prescription bottle and pills scattered, as they put it, on the countertop near Betsy Arakawa. So we're getting developing information. Harris.
So clearly foul play is the only logical answer, and it could either be one of them, death, suicide. What caused it to happen? We don't know. This just stinks. The fact that the police department actually went, no, there's no foul play, mate. They just both dropped dead. One looks like they've been there for years, and there's no foul play there. Everything's completely larry-darry, and everyone's having a great, wonderful time. Obviously, that's not true. I saw online of some people saying, day before Epstein files are being leaked, the Epstein files were leaked, and there's nothing interesting on them. I haven't read all 200 pages of them, but the general consensus is this has basically been a waste of time once again. Very disappointing, very upsetting. I was hoping the only reason I really wanted Trump to win, because the Democrats were morons and whatever, but because I want to know who the fuck's on this list. It is disgusting that it has not been found, and this is why people don't trust anything they read these days. We need to know. We need this, as in on a notes page, bullet pointed, the fucking names on that list. Again, that's not to do with this. People were just saying that they maybe did it, but, judging by the mummification, maybe this was a long time ago, and, we're just speculating on a dead person who might have been murdered, so I don't think that's very fair. We're going to listen to the 911 call made by the maintenance worker right now.
Are you with the patient now?
I'm sorry?
Are you with the patient now?
Yeah, I'm over at their property. There's no address here, so I have to meet the ambulance or the police, whoever, down at the gatehouse. I'll bring them up here.
Okay. How old is the patient?
I have no idea.
You don't know? Okay, that's fine. Is the patient a male or a female?
a female and a male, probably. I don't know, sir. Just send somebody up here real quick.
Okay. Are they awake?
I have no idea.
So this guy was looking through
Are
the
they
window.
breathing?
You know, this guy's a bit like, is the breathing? Like, he just said he's, you know, looking through the window, he saw the person there. So the fact that there's possibly two deceased, he obviously doesn't know this at that point, but that's what he's saying. He presumes if one's dead, the other's got to be dead, because this was a you know, sort of a welfare check, they call it, don't they? Because no one had heard or seen from them for a while. Very suspicious. The fact that no one had done it, you know, how long have they been there, we'll never know. Well, I'm sure we can find out, because there's very clever people these days who can, you know, get the time of death into the, you know, the minutes or the hours, certainly. So hopefully we'll be able to find out when this was. I'm sure there'll be CCTV footage all over the house, so they can actually see who was there. Was anyone else there? Were there any cars parked there? Was there anyone suspicious lurking around the property the days before coming? These are all the questions we need to find out.
I have no idea. I'm not inside the house. It's closed. It's locked. I can't go in. But I see them. She's laying down on a floor from the window.
Okay. Okay. Do they appear to be completely awake?
On the way?
Do they appear to be awake or alert?
No, it's not.
Okay.
He's asking very silly questions. He just told you the lady's lying there and nothing's going on. I know it's their job to find everything, but...
Did you hear them talk or cry?
No.
Okay.
I know it's his job, but, you know, he's just said he got there.
Are they
didn't he?
moving
You can
at
see
all?
them through a window. You know.
No, dude, they're not moving. Just send somebody up here really quick.
Okay, my units are underway, okay?
So that was the call. Obviously horrifying for the poor maintenance worker. He might have known them personally. Obviously this is suspicious and a full investigation needs to take place. This is a murder that I have not seen in particular. Well, murder, apologies. This is a death, a suspicious death that I have never seen or witnessed really in all my times on this earth. 2 people dead. One looks like they've been there for a lot longer. 1 dead dog, but there's 2 that are alive. Clearly, a heater was moved, apparently, that caused suspicion within enough to put it in the article that they were reporting on. It is a strange one. You know, you don't want to jump into theories, conspiracies. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if he's a person, it doesn't matter if he's a celebrity or just a, you know, a normal citizen like all of us. You know, this is a person who is dead with a wife and a dog. Now, obviously very sad, and, you know, the poor family need answers quickly. There is no cause of death that has been told to on the internet or sort of announced. But apparently there was no shoots or any blood type thing and on the bodies, no types of wounds, so it didn't look like anyone was hit, punched or anything like that. They were trying to blame gas, the you know, carbon monoxide, things like that, but there was no sign of gas leaks. And then the most important thing the article goes into next: what movies was he in? As if anyone gives a fuck. You know what I mean? He was in Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven, you know, which is a great film. Actually, I have seen that with my dad, funnily enough, so I did see that. But, you know, Gene Hackman, Lex Luthor, to me more is unfortunately dead, murdered, suicide. Who knows? His wife, who, you know, is a lot younger, also dead. So there are more questions than answers. It's a very worrying time to be alive, I think. Just generally, the whole world's turning to shit. A lot, like I said, people on the internet spiral were blaming Epstein. Oh, watchers, all these celebrities commit suicide because they know about to be leaked. You know, that's you know, a theory, and that's all it can be. This could be potentially someone who, you know, was genuinely murdered, killed by someone or something, maybe. I don't know. You know, if his wife was there for longer, maybe he killed his wife, then killed himself because, you know, who knows? That's what they were getting at. I'm not saying that's true. I have no seen any evidence. I just find it weird how she was described as starting to, you know, decompose, mummification, they specifically described it as. And yet they didn't mention anything about him being there for a while. She was obviously, you know, near the pills, which is a bit funny. And then he didn't say that there were any sort of medications near him to show a suicide. No blood, no wounds, nothing like that as well. There's just more questions than answers. We need Detective Scooby-Doo on the case here to get investigating and find out what happens. The problem with things like these days, I just don't trust what comes out of them. How can you believe what they say? How can you believe what they're doing or what evidence they found is true? When I first read this yesterday, they said oh, there's no evidence of foul play. And when I read that, I scoffed. I laughed out loud on my own, like some sad git sat on the bus who'd just seen a pair of large tits for the first time. I was like hysterical. I couldn't believe what my eyeballs were, relaying to my brain. I was like, what in the fuck? I'm not Scooby-Doo, but I can tell you for a fact there's probably foul play there. Certainly either one of them did it or an external, you know what I mean? How often does a couple die together? Very, very, 0.01% chance. And then a dog, but then the wife has started to decompose and he hasn't. A lot of questions, no answers. If you have any more information, please get it down below. I've tried to relay everything that are the facts. Obviously, we mentioned things like the Epstein, but I think that was just a few people online tweeting and things like that. I think until we know who's on that list, everyone is a target, and that's why I think it's in most people's best interest that all the shit is pumped out. But yeah, rest in peace, obviously, Gene Hackman. Great actor in some great films. 95 as well, very old age. Shame he couldn't see 100, but unfortunately, yeah, either murdered or suicide and then murdered. Who knows? But will we ever find out? Probably not, because we never do.